In the heart of Tokyo lies a small apartment that no one dares to rent. What happened there in 1963 sparked decades of hushed whispers about a woman, a sewing machine, and something that never left. This is the chilling, true mystery of apartment 313. In 1963, a young widow named Sachiko moved into a tiny third-floor apartment in Sujinami, Tokyo. Her husband had died in a factory fire, and Sachiko, a seamstress, spent most of her time indoors, sewing late into the night. Neighbors often heard the soft, rhythmic tapping of her machine at odd hours. But one week in April, the sound didn't stop. Tenants on the same floor complained they heard the sewing machine going for 72 hours straight. No breaks, no silence. A maintenance worker was sent to check. What he found was disturbing. Sachiko was slumped over her machine, long dead, her fingers still locked in the sewing thread, eyes open. The machine was unplugged. After Sachiko's body was removed, the machine was left behind. But the next tenant didn't last a week. She claimed to hear whispers from the machine late at night.
Thread me. Finish it.
She woke up one night with needle pricks on her fingertips. Police dismissed it as stress. She moved out in 3 days. The landlord, desperate to rent the unit, brought in a Buddhist priest to cleanse the room. But halfway through the ritual, the priest collapsed, clutching his chest. Witnesses say the sewing machine, long broken, began ticking again on its own. The priest survived, but refused to speak about what he saw. In the early 2000s, a Japanese urban explorer found the abandoned apartment frozen in time. He posted a video showing the rusted machine still in place. But within days, commenters reported strange things: sudden migraines, hearing sewing sounds at night, and dreams of a woman whispering in Japanese. Apartment 313 was sealed in 2007. The building was demolished in 2015. But locals say when they pass the site, they still hear faint tapping, like a needle punching cloth. Sachiko never finished her final dress, and some believe her spirit never stopped sewing. In a quiet town in Wales, 2 identical twins lived in total silence. They had their own language, their own world, and an obsession that grew darker by the day. Their bond was so strong, it killed one of them. This is the true and disturbing story of the silent twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons were born on April 11th, 1963, to Caribbean immigrants in Yemen. The family later moved to Wales, hoping for a better life. But the twins' childhood was anything but normal. As toddlers, they rarely spoke, not even to their parents. When they did, it was a high-speed, slurred language only they understood. Teachers grew alarmed. They seemed intelligent, but refused to engage. They wouldn't speak in class, wouldn't respond when called. They moved identically like mirrors. One teacher said it was like watching one person in 2 bodies. At age 14, they were sent to different boarding schools in an effort to break the dependency. The result, both withdrew completely, not just from others, but from reality. June became catatonic. Jennifer reportedly stared into space for days. After months of silence, the authorities reunited them. What followed was even stranger. They began to write fiction, pages and pages of it. Violent, erotic, often disturbing, Stories of teenage boys who committed crimes, girls possessed by spirits, people driven mad by jealousy. They self-published short novels using a mail-order service. Their themes: death, twins, betrayal. By the early 1980s, the girls were isolated and aimless. No jobs, no school. They began drinking, breaking into shops, and eventually setting fires. One night, they burned down a tractor store. Another, they tried to torch a school. Their crimes escalated until they were finally arrested. But here's where things get dark. Instead of jail, the court sent them to Broadmoor, one of Britain's most infamous high-security mental hospitals, the same place that once housed serial killers for arson and theft. These two girls were locked away for 11 years. At Broadmoor, their behavior became more bizarre. Nurses said they would go days without moving, then suddenly burst into violent fights. One day, Jennifer would eat. The next, June would starve. One would fall unconscious, and the other would mimic it hours later. They were studied by doctors, psychologists, even paranormal researchers. Eventually, they revealed a terrifying pact. They believed only one of them could survive. "One of us will die," Jennifer allegedly said, "and the other will be free." In 1993, after intense lobbying by mental health advocates, the twins were approved for transfer to a lower security facility. On the drive there, Jennifer reportedly said, "I'm going to die today." Hours later, she slumped over in June's lap and never woke up. The cause of death: acute myocarditis, sudden inflammation of the heart. No drugs, no signs of trauma, just death, and a promise fulfilled. June later told interviewers that they'd agreed one of them had to die for the other to be free. She even admitted Jennifer had given up her life. "We had a ritual," June said. "She chose to go. I was scared, but I felt relief." After Jennifer's death, June began to speak fluently and live normally. She never returned to a mental hospital. She got a job, made friends, and now lives quietly in the UK. But she still won't explain everything. Why the pact? Was it madness or possession? Some say they were victims of institutional neglect. Others believe their psychic bond was something science still can't explain. But one thing is clear: something lived between them, and it never left until one of them did.